Go to London, Part 2. In the last part, I told you about my dream, how I worked hard, how I struggled, and finally, how I reached London. But the real story had just begun, because arriving in London was only the beginning, living and surviving here. That was the real test. Scene 1, first morning in London. I woke up in my tiny student room. Through the window, I saw the city slowly waking up. People rushing to work, red double-decker buses speeding down the streets, the sky painted in a light, misty shade. I made myself a cup of tea and whispered softly, "This is it, the beginning of my new life." Scene 2, culture shock. The moment I stepped out onto the street, it felt magical, but also a little scary. The way people spoke, different. The taste of food, different. Even the way people walked felt different. I went to a shop to buy some things. The cashier smiled and asked, "Would you like a bag?" I froze just for a second. I understood, but his fast English made my mind spin. I shyly replied, "Yes, yes, please." As I stepped outside, I laughed at myself. I thought, so this is what it feels like to step into a new world. Scene 3, first day at university. The campus was huge. Students from all over the world, some from America, some from Africa, some from Europe, all chasing their dreams. I entered the classroom, my heart racing. I quietly sat in the corner. The professor began teaching, and that's when it hit me. This wasn't a dream anymore. This was my reality, and now I had to prove myself. Scene 4, first friend that very day, I met Emily. She was from New York, studying psychology. Looking at my nervous face, she smiled and said, "Don't worry. The first day always feels scary, but trust me, it gets easier." Her smile gave me courage, and for the first time I felt maybe I belonged here too. Scene 5, struggles behind the smile. But life wasn't easy. London was expensive. Rent, books, food, travel, everything was hard to manage. I started a part-time job at a cafe near Oxford Street. Sometimes I had to work late nights. There were nights I came home exhausted, with aching feet, teary eyes, and a lonely heart. I missed the smell of my mom's cooking. I missed my dad's stories. I missed the laughter of home. London was beautiful, but it was also very lonely. Scene 6, lesson from the city. One evening after work, I walked to the River Thames. The city lights shimmered on the water, and I thought, life is just like this river, sometimes calm, sometimes stormy, but always moving forward. That night I promised myself, no matter how hard it gets, I will not give up. Because I didn't come this far, just to quit. Scene 7, small victories. Slowly, things started to change. My English improved. I made new friends. I scored well on my first assignment. One evening I called home and proudly said, "Don't worry, your daughter is doing just fine here." Hearing the happiness in my parents' voices filled me with new strength. Scene 8, first adventure. On the weekend, Emily took me out to explore the city. We saw Buckingham Palace. We walked across Tower Bridge. We laughed while eating fish and chips. And when I stood in front of Big Ben, I had goosebumps. I whispered, "This is the dream I once wrote in my diary, and today I'm living it." Ending part 2. And just like that, London was no longer just a city. It became my teacher. It taught me courage, it taught me patience, and most importantly, it taught me that no dream is too big if your heart is strong enough. But this was only the beginning, because what lay ahead were bigger challenges. Failures, pain, and moments that would change me forever. This was my London story. Part 2, Struggles and First Steps.